So there are definitely levels to taking life for granted and the reasons why we take life for granted. Studies show that when you are engaging in positive emotional states, you downregulate the genetic code that is associated to sickness, illness, dis-ease. And you upregulate the genetic code, which means you alter your genetic structure to be geared towards love, to be geared towards healing, towards a healthy genetic structure, a genetic structure that is devoid of these inherited dis-eases. Now, many people believe that because they have family members throughout a long lineage that have certain illnesses, that they themselves are doomed, that they themselves are predisposed to this particular illness. And while that may be true on some level, you have inherited a particular frequency that is geared towards illness, dis-ease, which is the frequency that is more so in alignment with anger, shame, guilt, frustration, right? So this is proven. When you start engaging in more positive emotions, you upregulate the genes and you start to, in essence, turn off those other genes that form these diseases. And I relate this to the aspect of, taking life for granted, because we don't realize our own power and we don't realize how precious life is when we are engaged in a particular frequency, when we have inherited this particular frequency, when we have been taught that there is no coming back from this, that this is just how it's always been within your familial lineage, and this is just how things are. So once you start to really explore and practice, this is something that I've done that has worked amazing, that has worked for me and has transformed my life on such a deep level, where I know how to observe my chakric systems, my energetic points. I know how to upregulate my genes, downregulate my genes for what is negative and what is not serving me, and upregulate them for what is actually going to not only heal or transform these inherited diseases, but also prevent future diseases that may be passed on to my children. So this happens when you start engaging in actually being a participant in your own power. You start to not only understand what I'm telling you right now, not only accept that as a known fact. I mean, not many people are practicing this or practice this way of life. The majority of people are just succumbing to what has been taught primarily, which is that once you inherit a disease, it's almost impossible to get rid of it, right? But as you start to engage in this other arena, which is epigenetics and gratitude and joy fulfillment and reality creation of being a conscious participant in your life experience, as opposed to doing what the majority do, which is operate within a default mode and allow other people to write the story of your life instead of you yourself being the author of your own life, you will begin to witness a transformation internally that is inarticulable. You will not be able to fully express it because it is an experience that is unique to your internal state. It's called the inside job. That's what I call it. You do the inside job to transform the world around you. And so that requires practice. It requires an acceptance, an awareness, an acceptance, and then a conscious choice and a conscious redirection back to understanding your power so that you can truly integrate the levels in which you are able to be grateful for your life. You have been predisposed to only be able to experience a certain level of appreciation for your life. What you have been taught is what you are primarily practicing. And we are so grand when we look at this forest. It is reflecting us, what we have within us. Or when you look at the city and you see what's possible, that is a direct reflection of what is possible within us. You can understand that conceptually. You can witness the grandness of all of this and appreciate it to some degree. But you can also take it for granted without even realizing that there's a cap to your ability to feel gratitude, to your ability to have a reason to feel gratitude. Yes, we could be grateful for the simple fact that we're here and alive as we should be. Although the closer you are able to purify your own vessel, the closer you are able to work internally, the closer you will be able to get to God and get to your understanding of how blessed we truly are. Do not take your life for granted. And realize that you might not know how much you're actually taking your life for granted. Not everybody is ready for a certain level of awareness, and I fully understand that. You who is watching this, you are ready for that. And you don't have to go at anybody else's speed or pace. You go at your own pace. When you understand yourself on a more biochemical level, on a more molecular level, and you understand yourself on a genetic level, what's possible on those levels, I think that it opens a door. I know that it opens a door for you to be able to sense. You're able to become more intimate with yourself. You're able to become more intimate with your sensibility and your ability to be aware of where you are in relationship to how much you're actually taking life for granted. So how are we doing this? How are we becoming more aware and more capable of appreciating life to the core, to the depth, and really internalize that and really integrate that within your nervous system? Again, you have the ability to alter your cellular makeup. These cells in your body are responding to what you're saying. Your genetic code is changing according to what you're saying. You've lived most of your life either not being aware of it or being aware of it and not doing anything about it that's actually going to last. Knowing is not enough. You can't just have a bunch of information and read a book and think that that's going to suffice. And even if you do know, there's degrees into which you can know something as you actually put that into practice and find ways to integrate it into your body, into your awareness. Truly. This is what I have done. You must take time to go within. And there are certain things that you can do internally. Utilizing your awareness, utilizing your imagination, utilizing your ability to sense and listen to the body. Direct your energy. Direct your chi, your life force energy into specific parts of the body. Now, every single one of your energy centers, right? Your heart, your throat, your third eye, your crown, your solar plexus, your sacral chakra, your root chakra. These chakras, they are all holding information, memory. Just like your brain holds memory, your chakra points hold memory. And these are very powerful centers in which you can actually consciously choose to upregulate or downregulate the genetic structure, the genes and the codes of the genes that are aligned to the sickness or to the wellness. And therefore, your capacity, your ability to see. How much am I taking life for granted? I can relate this to work. You think about work. I have to get up tomorrow, I have to go to work, and I know how that's going to feel. I know that at some point I'm going to get tired. You wake up, you drink your coffee, you feel pretty good. Maybe you get a workout in, maybe you do something to get your energy flowing. But at some point, your energy is going to dip. At some point, you're going to feel like trapped, or you anticipate that feeling of being trapped. Be it that you're not necessarily doing what you want to be doing for work right now, for now. And because you are geared towards anticipating this, you start thinking in alignment with negativity. You start anticipating the feeling. And when you start anticipating the feeling based off of the memory of the feeling that you've experienced day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, you are aligning yourself on a cellular level. You are solidifying that within each of your energy centers. And then it perpetuates. So then if you are engaging in feelings of ingratitude, feelings of frustration, feelings of anger, feelings of guilt, shame, because you find yourself in a position where your energy is low, maybe you're not able to show up as much as you would like to. You are training your genes to be in this way. And if you're already having some kind of a dis-ease, experiencing some kind of a dis-ease, this is what keeps you in that position. So how is it that we can have a dis-ease, experience chronic pain, experience chronic depression, experience all these negative things in life that weigh us down, negative thinking, and simultaneously make the shift into something that's going to be more aligned with your empowerment, more aligned with what you would actually prefer, be it that you actually pondered what it is that you would prefer to feel on a day-to-day basis, on a week-to-week basis, on a month-to-month basis, on a year-to-year basis, and on the grand scheme of things, your life experience overall, right? Because it's always, you're living your entire life right now. Your capacity, your ability to be aware of how attuned and aligned you are to taking your life for granted is limited. Your ability to actually appreciate life is expanded when you start to become aware of the shift that occurs within the body, deep within the body, within the chakric centers, within the cellular makeup, within the genetic code, as you engage with positive thinking. And when you do this prior to the momentum that has built around your negative thought forms, when you do it before the day starts, when you start early, before you experience that dip in your energy midday at work or after work, when you just feel like you need to decompress and plop on your bed and rest so that you could do it all over again the next day. If you do it prior to that, that's when you're going to truly make a shift that is going to integrate within the nervous system. You have to get ahead of the game. I spoke about this in my video about toxic environments, people, and needing to get yourself out of that. You have to get ahead of the toxic environment. You have to get ahead of the toxic people that you might be engaging with. You got to wake up when everybody's sleeping. You got to be up and attuning yourself to what you actually wish to experience before you engage with anything in the world, which includes your own thoughts. Your environment is here. This is your environment. This is just a reflection of your environment. So you have to rise above your environment, no matter what it is, and there's no excuse. If you truly want to make the shift, you have to persist and you have to push yourself. You have to put in the pain. If you're not willing to put in the pain, you're not going to see the gain. This life is not only about the polarity of fantastic experiences and cushions and luxurious dinners. No. It's about applying the pressure. It's about experiencing the resistance. It's about the contraction and the expansion. You have to learn how to embrace it. I teach people this. So if you want to have an experience with me where I guide you towards opening up this level of awareness within your body, within your cellular makeup, within your genetic code, through your conscious awareness, through guided visualization, and through breath awareness, then reach out to me, email me, and we can talk about what would serve you best at this time. I can guide you out of whatever sticky situation you may find yourself in, whatever you feel is holding you back. I can give you clarity. I can guide you through some clarifying questions. I can understand your situation. So this is usually what I offer people. Clarity around where the blockage actually lies, the root of the problem that you may be experiencing. And then not so much fixation upon that, but the solution. How to go inward, how to navigate the imagination inwardly, how to utilize the breath, how to utilize your environment to your advantage, how to rise above the environment that you're in, right? The environment that you're in. You're fully capable. But continuing to take life for granted without realizing that you're doing it, continuing to believe that you are limited to what other people in your family have been exposed to, who existed way before you, we are not going to be able to move past our own environment if we're living through this concept. Yes, it's a real thing, but you're also here to transcend those things. You're also here to make those changes. And that's why it's so difficult for some people. That's why you find yourself in certain situations where you're just like, I didn't sign up for this. Yeah, you did. You did sign up for it. Or else you wouldn't be here. So make sure you reach out to me if you want that level of clarity, if you want to gain access to your internal power and your ability to know what to do internally to support you through the conscious decisions that you make, to support you through the level of alignment and the level of changes that I know that you're striving for.